Hello guys, and welcome back to the Java tutorial. Before going further, let me tell you something, that if you go into the description box, you'll find a link to my blog that I have written based on this Java tutorial only. You may go through this blog also to get a clear knowledge of whatever I explain you in these videos. So let's continue with the Java tutorial. Today I'll be discussing about features of OOP. Number one feature is class. Second feature is abstraction. Third feature is encapsulation. Then there is inheritance, and then polymorphism. Let's start with the first feature, that is class. So what is class? A group of objects having same characteristics and behavior is called a class. Now it means that there are some objects. Now out of those objects, the objects that have same characteristics and behavior, those objects if are brought together, then that group will be called a class. Let's consider an example of phone. The phone is a class because it may have multiple objects. For example, Nokia and Apple, both companies develop mobile phones, but these mobile phones are objects and not a class. These objects have got some characteristics and behavior which are similar in nature. For example, both Nokia and Apple phones can be used to make calls, can be used to save contacts, can be used to play music or browse internet, watch videos, and much more. These are some features that are common. Similarly, there may be other phones also which can be called as an object of this class phone. So here phone is a class and these two are the objects, Nokia and Apple. Next feature is abstraction. Now, what is abstraction? It is the way of representing essential features without showing the background details. Now let's consider the example. Now here you can see that there is a car, and this guy is the user of the car, and this one is the creator, or maybe we can call it automobile engineer, as it says. And here it says an abstraction includes the essential details related to the perspective of the viewer. That means when we create any product, or for example here car, when this automobile engineer created this car, he only has shown the details that is needed by this user. For example, how to turn left or right. So to turn left or right, we need to just rotate the wheel left or right. That is the way that the user knows to turn the car left or right. But how? By turning the wheel left, the car goes left, or turning the wheel right, actually the car goes right, or pressing the brakes, the car stops. How does this happen in the background? That he doesn't know. That's what is hidden from him, and that is what is not needed also. So in this case, what this automobile engineering is doing, he is applying the abstraction so that he can only show the necessary details to the user and not each and every details of the car. In this way, what happens is we also increase the security of this car, and also it makes the car user easy to drive the car. So this is abstraction. Now let's talk about encapsulation. It is wrapping up of data and functions into a single unit. That means what we are going to do is we are going to take the data and the function, and then we are going to cover this data and function into one. So encapsulation, from here you can see there is a word called capsule. Now when we talk about capsule, what it does is it contains a powdered medicine or a drug, what we can say. What it does, it protects it from the outer surroundings. Similarly, in case of encapsulation, to protect the data and functions, we cover it with something so that it is protected from the outer environment. This is encapsulation. So let's consider this example. Here what we are doing is we are protecting the device's inner features, functions like receive, dial, and methods like IMEI code. So this is encapsulation. Let's talk about inheritance. When we talk about inheritance, just consider this example. We have always heard that a child inherits features from its parents. That means some behaviors or characteristics from its parents. In case of Java also, or object oriented programming also, there is a feature, there is a way by which a class can inherit features from other class, and that is what inheritance is. It is a feature that allows a class to inherit features from other classes. Now, if a class that is inheriting the feature is called a child class, and the class from where it is inheriting the feature is called the parent class. Let's consider an example. Animal. Animal can be called a parent class. Now there are some child classes called lion, elephant, or snake. These classes are inheriting features from the class animal. How is it happening? For example, let's consider legs. Lion, elephant, and snake both are inheriting the feature which can be called as a data. For example, data. Feature can be data or function. So feature is legs which is a data. So it is inheriting that feature from the class animal. Now you might think that snake doesn't have legs, then how is it inheriting that feature from animal? Actually, it is not inheriting the value of legs. It is actually inheriting the feature only. For example, now if we consider this lion, for lion, legs is equal to 4. For elephant, legs equals to 4. For snake, legs is equal to 0. But there is a feature called legs that is being inherited from animal. Similarly, there are other features also that are being inherited. Now polymorphism. So polymorphism, you can see there are two words. One is poly, means many, and morph means forms. So from here only we can get the definition. That means something that has got many forms. That is the definition of polymorphism, a feature of object oriented programming where an object may have multiple forms. Now let's consider an example. Draw. If I say that draw, that may have many forms. That can mean draw a circle. That can also mean draw a rectangle. And also that can also mean draw a square. So it can have multiple meanings. That means it can have multiple forms. These were most of the features of object oriented programming. And next topic that I will be discussing is Java introduction.